I'll tell you a story from the Heiligen Reb Aaron Agudel from Karlin. Reb Aaron Agudel is the mechaber from Ka'echsoif. It's the niggin that we sing, Dazas Rakshas. When Reb Aaron Agudel passed away, he asked his Talmud, Reb Shloime LeKarlina, to become Rebbe. And Reb Shloime LeKarlina did not want to become Rebbe. He said he's not Rui, he's not befitting to take over his father, his Rebbe's position. And Reb Shloime lot ugezukt. So the story goes as follows, that Reb Aaron Agudel came to Shulem and told him, he says, look, he says, I want you to take over as Rebbe. He says, and if you take over as Rebbe, I will give you a brucha that you will have offene oigen, lechtige oigen, you'll be able to see things. No, that's already not a duva pushet, Mekan Zain. So he said, Maskim. He becomes Rebbe, a week or two into him becoming Rebbe, walks in a chused with a kvittel. And the chused weint, he says, Rebbe, my father is churev krank. My father is this big asken. My father is the Rosh Kul. My father is the big Gabbat Tzedukah. My father is the Gvir. My father is the person that does it all here. And he's churev krank. He's a young man. The doctor says there's not much that he can do. And Reb Shloime looks at the kvittel and he says, no, the Eibishter should have rachmunas on him. A few minutes later comes in a younger man, a blittegure man, an univ evian, a mamish, a pauper to the nth degree. And he says, Rebbe, my wife is in labor for 20 hours already. The doctor says if she doesn't give birth to the child, she's dying and the child is dying. And he looks at the kvittel and he sees that this gevir is supposed to be a gilgal into this child. And he says to himself, so what do? Do I put away the gevir, the Rosh Kul, the Shayna Yid? Do I give a brucha to this child? So he looks up at the Yid, he says, you know, the Eibishter should have rachmunas, the Eibishter should take care of this. The Yid had no idea it was the Rebbe Zukt, he took it as a brucha. 15-20 minutes later, there's a Yelula, they come telling him, Rebbe, this Yid is nifte geworden, mamish, it's a chorb, meshtut, heroin, and a half hour later, the singer man comes in, Rebbe's kind na mazel tov, I got a yingele. And Reb Shloime is standing there, he's watching this whole saga play itself out. And, you know, he goes to the Levaya, here they're crying. A few days later, he goes to Shulem Zucha, they drink Melachayim. It's the day before the bris, and the Avi Ben comes in and he says, Rebbe, I have to make a bris tomorrow. Wacht nach Zide, I have nothing. I have nothing. So Shloime says, wait, I have money for you. He takes the wad of cash that he got with the kvittel for that gevir, was his nifte geworden, and he thinks to himself, you know, this is him. He's paying his own tab. He takes the wad of cash and he gives it to the seed. He says, mach a simcha. The Yid geht daheim and gestellt a simcha, you know, see the Shloime beshatoi. And there was a bris, and the Shloime is sitting there, and he's looking at this whole thing. To him, this is like, he can't even absorb it. This is interessante Masse. We fast forward a few years, the seed that passed away left over a 7-year-old child, a Yusamol. It's bar mitzvah age. This little Yusamol got bar mitzvah him. And Dalmuna, who was a well-to-do person, everybody knew her, sent out an invitation to the whole town, and everybody comes to see this bar mitzvah. You know, a Yusamol, his father did so much chesed for everyone. You know, everybody knows her. She's a upstanding woman in the community, etc. And the ganze Stut is dort. And the Rebbe is there, Shloime is sitting there, Shloime Kalina, the Bar Mitzvah Bucha, the uncles, everyone is there. And this father, who had this yingala, is also there. And he has his little yingala there. And he comes into the Bar Mitzvah, and this little yingala just like went bananas, and his father couldn't control him. He was running around, he was jumping, he was yelling, and he runs up to Shloime Kalina, and he sits down between Shloime Kalina and the Bar Mitzvah Bucha. And he says, waiter, bring me a portion. And people are yelling at him, die stinken, die mechitze, terugupfen doen. And Shloime is watching this and thinking to himself, he belongs here. Dus is toch de tate van hem jingel. Dus is toch de tate van hem jingel. If he doesn't belong there, who belongs there? And Reb Shloime says nothing. And this yingle is sitting there, and he's, like a little yingle being rowdy. I want cola. I don't want this. I don't want the regular Maim Chaim. I want the Coca-Cola. I want ice cubes. I want a glass on a stem. Finally, one uncle comes over to him, picks him up, gives him 2 pesos. Do me a favor. You're a little machitza. You're a shtig. Get out of here. You rascal. I've after roast from a smedish. Shloime is sitting there, and he's watching the whole spiel. He says the father can't even sit by his child's bar mitzvah. He came home that night, and he went into his Sfurim Shtib, and he started crying bitterly to the Bashefa. He says, Bashefa, please take away the brucha that my Rebbe gave me the ability to see. It's just too much. It's too much to bear. I've been watching this thing for 6-7 years. And whether the Ivy shall listen to him or not, I can't tell you. The rest is not as important. We don't have this brucha to have a Shloime Lekalinas Oigen to see why these things are happening to us. But the only way we can continue is if we are be'emes mischazik and we believe there's more to this picture. This doesn't really make sense. It wasn't supposed to end up this way. This was supposed to be my prodigy child. This was supposed to be my nachis. Favus? Weiß ich nicht. I don't know. And if I know, I wouldn't tell you. So it's irrelevant. Aber weiß ich nicht. But Moshe Rabbeinu told us already, Terchachem mesachem, troublesome children that are apikorsim, the only way to deal with them is Anushim Chachumim in the Voinim.